What is up, everybody? It's your girl Jada Reese here, aka Diamond, and we're back with another video. But first, if this is your first time seeing my face or knowing of my existence, my name is Diamond. I go by Jada Reese on the internet, and over here I like to do reading vlogs, book reviews, and everything in between. So if that is something that you're interested in, I think you should consider subscribing. Okay, guys, so we're back with another video. Long time no see. All right, life's been lifing, but in a good way. I've just been very busy with work. I actually got a promotion at my new job, right? The last time we were talking, I was transitioning into a new job. It was going great. I was adjusting, and then a couple of weeks later, I was actually promoted. So I have more responsibilities going on there, more things to figure out and get used to, and so I'm just adjusting to that life and my reading life, which has shifted tremendously. We'll talk about that in another video, or maybe later on in this video, because it is currently July 7th, and yeah, I have yet to finish a book. I haven't finished a book since May. I've been reading constantly, though. That's the funniest thing ever. But I haven't been able to finish a book, so we'll talk about that if a question like that comes up. But today we're going to be doing the mid-year freakout tag, because we are 6 months into the year. Well, now we're on the 7th month. It's July, so is that the 7th? Yeah, it's the 7th month, but we're halfway through the year. The videos have been coming out, so of course I have to do the video. I definitely was going to do it whenever I found some time to do so, so we're going to be doing it today. So we just can honestly get started with the first question. All right, first question is the best book you've read so far in 2024. So the best book that I've read thus far in 2024 has to be Lonesome Dove by Larry McMurtry. It's a phenomenal book, I think written in like 1983 or something like that. I have it behind me, but I'm not gonna grab it. It is about these cowboys, Cal and Augustus, and it's about their journey from Texas to Montana and everything that goes in between that. It's an amazing book, phenomenal read. It took me 2 weeks to get through because it is a tome, but every single part of that book was very fascinating and intriguing, and you never get bored. And it was just a phenomenal book through and through. I find myself thinking about those characters ever so often, which of course is like a telltale sign that the book was amazing if you're constantly thinking about it. So yeah, it's the best book ever, and I absolutely love it. It's still at the top of my list. Out of I think I've read 27 books so far this year, and that's the best one. The best sequel you've read so far this year. Right now we can call Authority a sequel, but there is another book that's going to come out, I think this year, in the what do we call that, the Annihilation series. So it was a trilogy at once, and now it's going to be a quartet. But either way, it's the second installment of a series, and it was Authority, and I enjoyed Authority. Authority was a slower paced novel that kind of centered around who was behind Area X, which is that's more so going on in the first book, Annihilation. And so you get the bureaucratic side, and you get introduced to a couple of new characters, one being Control, and you just find out so many different things, and some questions are entered into the chat that you want answers to, which makes you want to continue on and read the next book. So yeah, that's the best sequel that I've read. Number 3, new releases. What is a new release you haven't read yet but want to? So a book that is currently out that I want to get to is Blue Sisters by Coco Mellers. I do have Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I read Cleopatra and Frankenstein when it first came out. I have a vlog about what I think about Cleopatra and Frankenstein. I liked it up until a pivotal point in the novel, and it started to go downhill for me, but that never turned me off from Coco Mellers, and I felt like if she came out with something else, I would definitely try it out. So I'm interested to read Blue Sisters. I'm trying to figure out if I want to just go to my local bookshop that I tend to go to, or if I want to order it from Blackwell's, because I got my last book from Blackwell's, because you know, over in the UK they publish what do we call it? They publish paperback books like right when the book comes out, and I like paperback. So I don't know if I want to do that or just go ahead and get the hardcover, because I have been liking hardcover books as well. So I definitely want to get to that. I don't know when I'll get to it, but I do want to get to that. Number 5, the biggest disappointment. So here's the thing. My reading this year has been phenomenal. So I haven't really had books that were just terrible or disappointing, but I have a book right now that I read all last month, and I brought into July with me. So I think I can kind of log that as a disappointment. But I will say I read some today. I read for 2 hours today because I was well rested. I worked out and I ate some good pho, and I was like, I want to read this book. And so it is getting interesting to me, but like it wasn't at first. Is this on? Yeah, it's on. And I had to grab my new bag. I have to show y'all this. So this is, it's, first of all, it's in this bag. Side note, it's in this bag, so I'm gonna get it out of this bag, but I just got this bag in the mail from Italy. This is a Dragon Diffusion Santa Crochet bag, and I just loved it. Isn't it beautiful? It's 100% leather and handcrafted, and it's just amazing. So anyways, let me get the book out. I'm obsessed with it. And it's Shuggy Bang. Like, as you can see, look, I was reading this book. I was dipping and dabbing into this book all of last month, and I just couldn't get into it. And I'm just like, what is going on here? The parts with Agnes, and we're learning the backstory of Agnes and her alcoholism and dealing with the father, Big Shug. It was just giving boring vibes to me. But I was like, for some reason, I don't want to DNF this. So I'm really, really trying my best to like make it through. And it's getting interesting now. So we shall see. But as far as things go, this is a book I've been wanting to get to, and I'm actually not really into it like I want to be. And I think that's very disappointing, considering the fact that it was the Man Booker Prize winner in 2020. So I'm just like, I'm trying to figure out, I don't know. But that's kind of disappointing to me. If we want to just add some disappointment, give an answer for that question, that's kind of disappointing to me. All right, so number 6, the biggest surprise. Let's go to my list, because I don't know, like, all the books that I read have been good. People have said they were amazing, so I wasn't surprised. I'll say, because I have heard about this book. Claire talked about that. I would say the biggest surprise would be Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. And I'll say it's the biggest surprise kind of in a negative way, because even though it was a phenomenal book, it detailed the love in the early 20th century, and Black love in particular, and a woman finding her way. I would call it a surprise in a disappointing way, because I didn't enjoy the love story between the two main characters. Well, the one main character, I forgot her name already, but the main character, and then the final man that she fell in love with. I didn't like their love story. I didn't like it at all. And I know, because at that particular time in American history, in Black American history, you kind of didn't have any type of love stories to truly go off of. So I understand what Zora Neale Hurston was doing in the novel, but I still didn't like reading about what was going on there. Janie's her name. I didn't like it. So because I didn't like it, it was a disappointing surprise. All right, number 7. Favorite new author, debut, or new to you? Let's see. I'd have to say, I'm looking at all the books I read. I would say my favorite new author, I've only read one book by this woman, and I think she's great, and she has tons of books that I am going to read throughout my lifetime. It's going to be Hilary Mantel. I did read the Wolf Hall, the first installment of the Wolf Hall trilogy, or the Thomas Cromwell trilogy, Wolf Hall. There's a reading vlog on that as well on this channel. It was for my birthday, and I really enjoyed that book. I enjoyed it immensely. The writing is impeccable, phenomenal. It's like, how can you not have 5 different personalities as a human being, and not write a story like that, if that makes any sense? It's just, she just really immersed herself into Tudor London and Tudor England in general. general, and it just like the story was coming off the page immediately from the first day I started to the end of it. Great book, and she's a great author, and I'm excited to read more from her, including the rest of the trilogy as well. Next, newest fictional crush. Don't have a fictional crush. Newest favorite character, I would have to say Mushkin from The Idiot. I absolutely loved Mushkin from the moment he was introduced in The Idiot to the last page, the last sentence. I enjoyed his mannerisms, the way that Fyodor Dostoevsky wrote him. I enjoyed his character. I enjoyed the character study in general. I enjoyed the fact that everyone misunderstood who he was as a person, but he knew who he was and what people were and how people perceived him throughout the entire story. And it was just funny for other people to have all of these suggestions about how dumb he was, but the whole time he just knew. He knew everything, and I just liked reading a character like that, and I enjoyed it. That's a very basic response, but there's nothing much else, I can say. He's my favorite character that I read from this year. And I think I said that in my wrap up. All right, next question. A book that made you cry. I would have to say Medicine Walk by Richard Wagamese definitely made me cry. I don't have any others. Circe, didn't really cry. They were like internal tears, but Circe could have if you were to read Circe and you're an emotional person, you would probably come to tears at some point reading that book. But definitely Medicine Walk by Richard Wagamese. If you're very sensitive, Lonesome Dove at the end could get you choked up. But definitely Medicine Walk by Richard Wagamese. I highly recommend that book. I can't recommend it enough. I think that anyone should read it. Richard Wagamese is an indigenous author from Canada he's passed away, but he has a few books that he has written, and he's a very prolific author in Canada. And that was a phenomenal book. Nice and short and sweet, not too long, but it is just amazing. Like, it packs a really powerful punch for sure. And if you ever come across it in a used bookstore, I think you should grab it. Next we have the book that made you happy. Definitely, it has to be Part of Your World by Abby. It's either Jimenez or Jimenez. I've heard it pronounced two different ways on multiple occasions. I don't know which one is the correct one. It's either Jimenez or Jimenez. And yeah, Part of Your World was very good from beginning to end. It scratched the itch that I needed. I needed like a palate cleanser from the last book that I read prior to that one. And I just enjoyed that romance. I'm not gonna keep on saying it over and over, sounding like a prude that I don't read romance, because I don't. There was once upon a time that I did, but now and again it's very nice to read something that's not too, that doesn't require tons of brain power, and that's funny at times. It has a little bit of drama in there, the love, the spice. It all was like perfectly embedded, and I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it very much, and it gave me a very happy feeling. Number 12, most beautiful book you've bought so far this year. I don't have any really. I don't know. Let me see. I don't have any books that are beautiful. They're just basic covers, I don't have any. And number 13, what books do you need to read? No, there's another question. There's a book on here that has not been released yet. Where is that question? I thought there was a book. Either way, it says, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? I have quite a few books that I need to read by the end of the year. I did do books that I want to read. Hold on. I did a video that had the 10 books that I must read. So let's go find that video. And I put the books in the description box. So here it is right here.
Taking care of his beloved.
And I wrote them all down. All right, so let's go through all the books that I have read so far. So I've read Home by Marilyn Robinson, Circe by Madeline Miller, The Idiot by Fyodor Dostoevsky, Correction. No, I have not read Corrections. I'm currently reading Shuggie Bain now. So I read Cold Mountain. All right, so let's talk about the books that I must read, or these are the books that I set out to read intentionally, and everything else was just going to be added in there. So one of the books I must read is Those Who Leave and Those Who Stay, which I have started. Like I said, I've started last month. I read 4 books. I just did not finish any of them. So we can talk about those in my June wrap up. I definitely read 4, didn't finish not a one. So I did start Those Who Leave and Those Who Stay. So we need to finish that. We need to read The Corrections by Jonathan Franzen, Shuggie Bain also, as you guys know, I have started, Lolita, Just Kids, After Leaving Mr. Mackenzie by Jean Reese. And that's it. Those are the books that I must read to complete the list from that video. And that's it. That'll be done. I would have at least hit that goal, you know, intentionally. And I've started out the year being intentional, so we'll finish the year with intentionality. So I do plan on finishing those. And I have 2 currently that I have started. So we'll get through these and then we'll tackle the other 4. So yeah, that is my mid-year freakout tag. What books are you reading? What books are you enjoying? What's your favorite reader this year? All the things. But of course, I'll catch up with everyone that I am subscribed to here on BookTube as well, so I can know those things. And yeah, hopefully I can produce some more videos and kind of get back into the swing of things with you guys as I continue reading. It's just a lot, you know. My new job, I have to be at work at 5 a.m. So I still don't even know what time I'm supposed to truly go to sleep because when I get off work at 2 p.m. So 5 a.m. to 2 p.m. I get off work and I'm so tired. I take a nap and then I'm up. And then it's like, but it's the type of woke that I am where I can't really function reading anything literary. So I just have to get a grip on things and just kind of like ease it back into my life, because my life is like completely changed basically based on the new work that I do. So anyways, yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in my next upload. Deuces.